It's protein week. So that coffee was disgusting. I'm gonna have to play around with the amount of protein powder I put in it, but so far, not worth it. It's protein week. I'm very nervous about this and I don't know why. Probably because I wanna do this justice, but I am very nervous. I'm gonna start out by saying the YouTuber Autumn Bates really goes into protein. So check her out if you want a more extensive guide through that. And also my only credentials are that I know how to use the internet. Okay, so let's get into this. I'm gonna need a whiteboard. First things first, welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday. If you're new here, I'm Michiwi and I'm on a weight loss journey, and today I'm talking about protein. And I think the first step is to just go over why. Why protein? I'm going to break up why protein into two sections. One, what the internet and science has to say about why we need protein, and why I am striving to get protein in, and what I hope to achieve by doing protein week. Then I'm going to go into how I calculated my protein goals, and then we're going to look at the foods that I'm going to incorporate into this week and why. Their protein values, basically. Okay, so why protein? Basically, it is a game changer for weight loss. So protein has a high thermic effect, which means that it requires more energy to burn than fats or carbs. So you'll basically be burning more calories while enjoying your food. And protein keeps you feeling fuller for longer. It helps to reduce your appetite, reduces cravings, and keeps your blood sugar levels stable throughout the day. Something to note, if you get too much protein, it can lower your keto levels, and too little, you can lose muscle. So now I'm going to talk about why protein and muscle mass is important for someone like me, who is female and over the age of 30. So due to a lack of testosterone, women have less muscle density, which means women have less muscle to build upon, which means we kind of just have to work harder at it. Thanks, estrogen. So also, muscle mass decreases about 3 to 8% per decade after the age of 30, and it declines even further after the age of 60. So yes, your estrogen and testosterone levels do affect your muscle mass and your age, which is why it's important for me to start working on it now. And not only is protein important for muscle, but a high protein intake has been shown to boost the metabolism and increase the amount of calories burned by 80 to 100 calories a day. Okay, so why is building muscle mass important? Well, an increased muscle mass can lead to less body fat, a stronger immune system, improved energy levels, and reduced stress. So all the things I'm looking for. Now, I have previously mentioned not to exercise to lose weight, still stand by it, but I highly recommend it for making your body feel good and all of the reasons just listed. And when you do hit your goal weight, it's gonna make it a hell of a lot easier to maintain it. Okay, so that is the things I found on the internet, the summary of why scientifically we want muscle and protein. So let's get into why I'm doing protein week. All those science reasons for one. The other is that I have not been doing a good job. I think I've been getting in like 35 to 40 grams of protein a day. Not great. So my hope is to start planning meals around protein, but still enjoy my carbs, my apple cinnamon oatmeal, the occasional teaspoon of sugar, while also aiding me in my weight loss goals. So just like weighing my food and measuring my food and being able to guesstimate what my breakfast is going to be just by knowing what foods I'm going to be putting in and the serving amounts, it's just practice. I need to practice doing this. I need to get in the habit of doing it. And this is going to help me think about meals in a different way. Just like when I was trying to incorporate carbs, I had to think about how to make them high in fiber, whole grain, and now I can do it without a second thought. So hopefully this week will just help me start packing in that protein. The goal is to get 30 grams per meal. So my meals need to be based around protein. And with that being said, and why I have the whiteboard, let's go over how I calculated what my protein goals are. Okay, so the science behind figuring out my protein goals. Now there's some conflicting data. as always. So I'll start out with the National Academy of Medicine's recommendation. They recommend 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight. So I don't know kilograms, so we will switch to the imperial system of measurements. It works out to be roughly 7 grams per 20 pounds. So I weigh 160, I divide that by 20, that gives me 8. Oh, I should be switching to the board here. Okay, I'm a floating head. They're going 7 grams for every 20 pounds. Now that light is shining on it, isn't it? I am 160-ish divided by 20 equals 8. I can't do anything about that light. It's a skylight. Sorry, guys. We take 8 times 7, and that will give us 56 grams. So 56 grams is the recommendation by the National Academy of Medicine. That's not how I'm doing it. So this is based off of a ketogenic calculator, again using the imperial system. So first we want to find our lean body mass. Lean body mass. So first you're going to take your total body weight. Mine was 161.2 this morning, and you are going to times that by 1 minus your body fat percentage. Not your BMI, your body fat percentage. Now this is where it gets tricky on that part. Your body fat percentage, you're either going to need to get a tape measure or a caliper. Go online and look at your measurements and find a chart. A more precise way is going into the doctor's and getting a scan. I am using my Fit Index scale and what it told me. And according to it, my body fat percentage is 32.6%. So we're going to take 1 minus 0.326. That 1 minus 0.326 is going to equal 0.674. So I'm going to take 161.2 and times it by 0.674. That is going to give me 108.64. 108.64. Real quick, I'm going to show you guys why I trust the body fat percentage that Fit Index gave me. Right here, fat-free body weight 108.61. 108.64. I'm going with that. So if you have a scale that you trust, or you're willing to give it just like a little wiggle room, which that's what I'm assuming there's a little wiggle room, and your scale will give you this information rather than do all this, just take your fat-free body weight result on here. We did the math steps to see how it is calculated, but right there, right here. So at this point we have our lean body mass. Now it is recommended that we times this number by 0.6 to 0.8 to maintain muscle mass and 0.8 to 1.2 to gain. Goes in difference on your activity level, what you're trying to build. I'm going to go by 0.8. I am trying to maintain, and if it increases muscle mass, I'm happy with that. If I need to up it later on, I will. So we're going to take 108.64 and we're going to times that by 0.8. That is going to give me 86.9. Obviously I'm going to round up to 87 grams of protein. 87 grams of protein a day. Now, if you look at this number, 56 and 87, that is 31 grams different. That's one meal's difference, because I'm trying to get 30 grams in each meal. But if you remember, I have mentioned I've only been getting 35 to 45, so I'm not even meeting that requirement. Now, if you guys are worried about me going over on protein too much, because some things say that you could get kidney damage, bad breath, dehydration, I've been doing some research, and yes, if you get too much protein, it can kill you. So can water. The amount of protein I would need is not possible for me in a day. It's just not. 200 grams of protein for me might cause kidney damage. There's a lot of conflicting data out there. Most of them are saying if you already have a kidney condition, that's when that happens. Again, I'm not going to be hitting 200 grams of protein. This is fine. Dehydration, I'm just going to be drinking a lot of water, as one should. Okay, so there is the numbers. It's a really long way to say I know I need 87 grams of protein. Autumn Bates goes over it in kilograms and a little bit, I think, maybe easier. But the easiest way is to look at a scale and say, okay, my fat-free body weight is basically 109, which, yeah, that tracks, because I never want to be less than 120 pounds. I know that my body feels great around the 125, and that's because it does have some fat on it. This is no fat. 108 is no fat on you. Again, doctor and I talked about my weight that I want to be at, and that was also agreed on, so it's all tracking. I will say that that dietitian I have mentioned earlier, she said I should weigh 110 pounds without me even going in. So again, that dietitian sucks. That won't be added. I just wanted to say it on camera. Also a quick mention, the Fit Index scale that I got, I think with tax is $25 on Amazon. So instead of doing all that math, if you have $20 that you want to spend on a scale that is rechargeable instead of putting batteries in it all the time, I recommend it. All right, let's get rid of the math on the board because I hate math and the sooner it's gone, the better. I don't have an eraser. Can I just do that? No, it's not big enough. Okay. I tried to cheat, but it's not gonna work. I wish that this was just a little bit further down, but I'm not sticking another nail in my wall for this, so it is what it is. Okay, so we're gonna break this up into 5 sections. Meat, poultry, eggs, that's 1. Seafood, that's 2. Legumes, grains, and vegetables, that's 3. Nuts and seeds, that's 4. And dairy products for 5. Okay, for meat, poultry, eggs. Quick note, the chicken is skinless, the turkey is roasted, the egg is large. Serving size is all 3 ounces and 1 large egg. I will put this graph, because I did not create this graph, this was, something I found on the internet. I will put this in a link in the description below if anyone wants this in printable form. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm looking at and why I chose the foods that I'm going to basically be trying to incorporate the most. I'm in a calorie deficit, so I want to look at the calories. I'm trying to pack in the protein. So chicken. Chicken is the best option out of all of this. It really is. 141 calories, 28 protein. That is because it is a lean protein, not a lot of fat on it. You're going to get a lot of protein for less calories. So protein is 4 calories per gram, fat is 9 calories per gram. Lean meat, packed full of protein, chicken. Turkey is the second best option here, but I hate turkey and it usually takes a lot of butter or garlic butter to make it taste right. So I am just gonna do this because I know it's not gonna work for me. Also, lamb's not gonna be on my menu anytime soon. Pork, I do the sausages. Ham, I'm not a fan of. And I do eggs. So these guys are my guys that I'm looking at. Steak is pretty caloric, not as caloric as lamb, so, why even do lamb? But yes, I will be making some beef and broccoli steak, but for the most part, chicken is where I'm focusing. All right, on to my favorite section, seafood. Again, this will all be 3 ounces serving size. I think we all know the clear indicator of who I'm gonna choose the most. It's gonna be tuna. I can get it in a can, and it's relatively cheap. 99 calories for 22 grams of protein, which is the same as salmon, but like 50 calories less. I am going to do a salmon. I'm going to do a walnut and salmon scrub salmon this week, just to show you guys some recipes, and because I want to. Shrimp is my second favorite here. Low calorie for a high pack of protein. All right, so switching over to legumes, grains, and veggies. Serving size is gonna be ½ a cup. There is a very long list. Again, it's in the description below. I'm going over the ones that are most common to me and the ones I think we should touch on real quick. Pinto beans. I grabbed a can of pinto beans. Because this is not from the bulk foods and I didn't soak them and do all that, this is why I think there's a difference. So for ½ a cup, it's 100 calories. There's 5 fiber and 7 grams of protein. This thing is saying ½ a cup, 197 for 11. I would say lentils are your next best bet here for bean-wise. 147 calories for 9 grams of protein. Edamame. This is going to be the first time I'm using edamame, which is surprising because they're really good. 95 calories for 9 grams of protein. So the serving size on this is 2/3 cup, so there's a difference. 120 calories, 12 grams of protein for 2/3 of a cup. I'm going to be able to make myself a whole edamame salad out of this. I'm going to pair it with shrimp, so it's going to be even more protein. Kidney beans, yeah, I mean, they're fine. I don't think that they're anything special on protein. They're fine. Quinoa is mentioned a lot, and I have made it before, and it is a kind of pain in the ass to make. For not a lot of protein, I think if you're going after protein, quinoa is more of a whole grain, like fiber, but to get fiber and protein in it, sure. Peas, again, that's mostly carbs, but 59 calories for protein, sure. And spinach, I like to throw in my smoothie because it's fibrous, it's got a lot of vitamins. 41 calories, not that caloric, and you get some protein. If protein is your goal for a low amount of calories, spinach. Nuts, they are going to be in 1 ounce. Little itty bitty serving. Soy nuts, I have not had the pleasure of using. I couldn't figure out what to put them in. At some point I want to figure that out. They are the lowest in calorie with the highest amount of protein. So definitely want to check that out at some point. I have pumpkin seeds because I was told it's good for your periods. Pretty high in protein. Cashews and walnuts, I was surprised how little bit of protein they have in them. I shouldn't have been, but I was. Those are like just sprinklings. Those are just like, ooh, I want a little, ooh, you know, not worth it. On a protein perspective, this is all on a protein perspective. Let's move on. All of these are going to have different serving sizes. Greek yogurt, this is why I love my smoothie, or I like putting little peanut butter and blueberries. 18 protein is good, especially for 100 calories. Cottage cheese, we're gonna try. We are so gonna try. I don't know. I mean, for 20 more calories, 4 more grams of protein, I could just stick with putting them on Greek yogurt, especially since I have such a hatred towards it. Regular yogurt, not so bad. Not as much protein. That's the reason why we choose Greek instead of regular. Mozzarella cheese, it's gonna be low in calorie, good in protein. If you like cheese, do your mozzarella cheese. And string cheese is made out of mozzarella cheese. I don't know why this is extra on here, but for a packet, it's 50 calories. It's a nice little snack. And you get 6 grams of protein, so. All right, that has been a long one. I started filming at 9. It is 11. Yesterday was a half an hour video. I hope to God today isn't. But you know what? We went over all the protein stuff today. We went over why, the math, options. Now it is time to get cooking. I had a wonderful suggestion to do voiceovers about how things have gone good or wrong or just the process. And I was gonna do that today, but I am so behind schedule, so tomorrow. Which brings us to the plan for breakfast and the plan for the day. I'm obviously going to be video editing a lot of this. We are going to work on our boat tiller today. We went and got a seahorse, sawhorse, one of those things. And this morning I'm going to attempt chicken and waffles because it sounds amazing. I stayed up last night thinking about this food, so I'm excited. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a large egg. I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of almond flour in with the egg, dip my chicken breast in it. I'm gonna use the air fryer because I'm lazy and behind schedule. So we're gonna cook up one of those, and I'm just gonna stick the waffles in my toaster. It should be relatively easy. I will let you guys know on the screen how many calories it turned out to be. I think it's gonna be around 700, the recipe, and the time it took. So just in case, recipe now, time here. And here's the process and the end result. And I will see you guys later. And thank you for sticking with me through this.
I'm a stone cold stealer, now how can I lie? I'll make the mistake when I make you mine. I'll start with the hurt, then I'll move to your mind. When I call for love, you better think twice.
Alright, so a few things before I start cooking dinner. I only have 250 calories left, which is a good thing because I'm not hungry. Not in the slightest. But it is the time that I eat dinner. I don't like going past a certain time. And I also want to make sure I'm eating enough calories a day. I'm gonna guess the reason why I'm not so hungry is because I've had 122 grams of protein. That's a lot. I mean, it's not huge, but it's also not the way I've been wanting to do it. I wanted to put 30 grams in each meal, but that is why I'm doing this, to figure out how to do it the way I want to do it. So let's talk about where I think I went wrong. First off, I am not going to add any more protein into my coffee. I consider it sacrilegious to what I did to my coffee this morning. I am also never going to eat cottage cheese again. I viscerally hate it. That is now Steven's cottage cheese. I like Greek yogurt. It's not super caloric and it's got a lot of protein. I'm not going to torture myself with cottage cheese. Without the cottage cheese, I would have had 115 grams of protein this morning, so still not my goal. And since I'm not putting protein powder in my coffee, I'm okay with my breakfast being like 45 to 50 grams of protein, honestly. The goal is 30, I'm okay with 55, just because I do load up on breakfast. And I do have 3 meals a day, but it's coffee, which is 160 calories. My breakfast is usually around 600 to 700, and dinner is around like 500, 400. So if I were gonna look at that realistically, I would have to probably eat smaller breakfasts, have a protein lunch. I don't know. This is what it's for. It's to figure it out. And because I don't have many calories, I'm not that hungry, I don't need protein, I just don't know what I want for dinner. Yeah, nothing that I planned sounds good. All right, I looked at my list. I am going to go with a slice of toast, a tablespoon of peanut butter, and half a banana sliced up with some cinnamon sprinkled on top. And a side note, the reason why I'm adding cinnamon with banana is because cinnamon helps regulate blood sugar, and bananas are basically sugar. I mean, there's nutrients, but sugar. If I have more calories left over, I might drizzle some honey on it. This is one of the breakfasts that I had planned, but we're gonna work around it because I messed up in the morning, and I'm not gonna be hard on myself because honestly, I ate healthy. I'm just mad that I put so many calories and protein in the breakfast that I didn't get to do the 30 grams in each meal. But I'll work on that. There's lots of meals planned. It's an experiment. I know what my baseline is, which is not getting enough. So, I mean, if I go, oh, I did way too much, there's a leveling out field somewhere there. I will either do better or worse or stay the same. Those are all the options. Also, I should have just pan fried that chicken. It would have been a lot quicker. It would have been, like, I would have cut it up, and I don't think I would have added the almond flour or the egg. I was trying to do, like, you know, fried chicken. The waffles and the syrup, really, if I had just done shredded chicken on top of it, it would have been perfect. So next time, there will be plenty of opportunities to try again. I am feeling a little brain dead. That was a lot of talking this morning and a lot of editing afterwards. So even though I feel high energy and I feel like running a mile right now, my brain wants to turn off. So physical energy is there, mental energy is expended. Honestly, it's a good thing that my brain is fried at this point because this video doesn't need to be any longer. And with that being said, I'm just gonna show you the end result, pop up the calories and the macros, and say goodnight. See you tomorrow, guys.